elevators.
3 years of love built on his fear of touch. One elevator accident, shattered life, betrayal, theft, sabotage. He destroyed me. Now he begs for forgiveness. But how do you mend trust ground to dust?
Hey, look at me. I've got you.
Vanilla perfume filled the elevator. The exact smell he said he hated. By the time maintenance forced the elevator doors open, my vision was already fading. I dated Ethan Walton for 3 years. In those 3 years, he never touched me. Not once. He told me the first time I leaned in to kiss him.
Perfume gives me headaches.
He told me he had severe contamination anxiety. He hated perfume, hated physical contact, hated the smell of skincare products on the skin. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? Ethan looked like the kind of man nobody questioned. I stopped wearing perfume, changed the bedsheets every day because even laundry detergent bothered him. A mask was pressed over my face.
Oxygen. Where's her inhaler?
I pointed weakly toward my bag beside Ethan's feet.
It's her personal stuff. I didn't know where it was.
Even the paramedic looked stunned. When my best friend Rue arrived at the hospital, I was already hooked to N4 in the emergency room. The doctor asked Ethan to sign paperwork. He stayed outside the curtain.
I'm not her family member.
But she listed you as her fiancé.
She's a friend.
Rue looked at him like he'd lost his mind.
Ethan Walton, she's been with you for 3 years.
Teresa's frightened. I'm taking her home first.
Then he walked out with Teresa in his coat. I woke up the next morning to a text message. Teresa cried all night. Don't make this harder for her. I stared at the screen silently. Rue snatched the phone from my hand.
Babe, stop looking at him before I do something illegal.
I laughed weakly. Rue handed me her phone. Someone from Walton's had posted a picture in the company group chat, Ethan standing outside the hospital. Teresa in the passenger seat wearing his coat. His watch on her wrist. I touched that watch once. Ethan shoved me back so hard I almost fell.
Keep your hands off my watch.
When I returned to Ethan's apartment that evening.
Oh, Miss Brown, you're back.
You just got discharged. Go shower first.
You think I'm disgusting?
That's not what I said.
Miss Brown, it's not like that. I got a fever after the storm yesterday, so Mr. Walton let me stay the night.
Why is she wearing my slippers on her feet and my necklace around her neck, enjoying everything that belongs to me?
They're slippers, Liz!
I'm sorry, I didn't know they were yours.
Whatever. They're ruined now anyway.
The inhaler was beside your feet.
Teresa was panicking.
What about me?
You know how to handle asthma. She doesn't.
Ethan Walton, we're done.
You really think your business survives without the Waltons? You'd be broke in a month.
The next morning, I still went to Walton Group with my presentation. My studio's final payment from Walton's was due next month. Without it, I couldn't pay salaries. I walked into the meeting room and only saw Teresa, like she already owned the place.
Miss Brown, Walton's usually goes for something more current.
Remake it. The collection launches in 2 weeks. Work faster.
Sorry, Miss Brown still smells like a hospital.
It's making me a little dizzy.
Open the windows. Give Teresa some space.
While I was packing up to return to the studio, Teresa came in. As she passed the sample rack, coffee splashed across the rack. Dark coffee splashed directly across the centerpiece garment of my collection. My mother made that fabric before she died.
What the hell?
Sorry, I burnt my hand.
Jesus, Liz. You could have hurt her. At this point, you're crossing a line. Your studio's off the project temporarily. Teresa's stepping onto the project. She'll assist with the transition.
Back at the studio, my employees kept asking when Walton's payment was coming. I locked myself in my office and stared at the accounts until midnight. Then Ethan came in.
Give Teresa the Velvet Collection.
What?
She's entering the Emerging Designers competition. She needs a real shot at winning.
I actually laughed.
You want my work handed to your intern?
Liz, stop making everything emotional.
The Velvet Collection wasn't just work.
No.
My mother made that fabric.
You already have a business.
Because of who?
A voice message suddenly played from his phone.
Mr. Walton, please don't fight because of me.
She's being nicer to you than you've ever been to her.
I actually laughed. Was he hearing himself? I went to shower because I needed a shower after that conversation. When I came back out, the study drawer was open. The file box containing my original velvet sketches was gone. I ran downstairs just as his car pulled away. I arrived backstage at the Emerging Designers competition. Teresa stood beneath bright camera lights holding my sketch box against her chest.
My box.
One of the most exciting young designers this year.
The interviewer announced excitedly. The crowd applauded to push through them immediately.
Teresa Shaw!
Teresa's expression changed the second she saw me.
You stole my work, my collection. Was anything ever enough for you? Or do you need my life too? Don't touch me!
People were already staring. Phones out. Cameras recording.
My mother's things are inside that box.
For a second. Then suddenly she let go. The box slipped from her hand straight into a huge vat of red dye. I dropped to my knees instantly and grabbed the fabric before it disappeared under the dye. Teresa whispered softly enough only I could hear.
I know exactly what's inside that box.
Then Ethan arrived.
Mr. Walton, Liz suddenly grabbed me.
Ethan pulled her protectively behind him.
That's enough. Check the surveillance footage.
No, don't! I don't want to make a scene!
Delete the footage.
The manager hesitated.
I'll handle it.
I stared at him. He chose her again, right in front of me. Then I slowly stood up holding ruined velvet against my chest. Outside the venue, giant screens lit up the night sky. Teresa Shaw, most promising young designer of the year. Inside the audience, Ethan applauded for her. That night, Ethan finally texted me.
Don't be so dramatic. I'll buy you another studio. Stop being dramatic. I'll buy you another studio.
I stared at the message for a long time before turning my phone face down on the table. Typical Ethan. The apartment felt strangely empty without him there. Or maybe I'd been alone the whole time. I walked into the study and turned on the printer, Walton's collaboration termination forms. Page after page slid slowly into the tray while rain tapped softly against the windows. The next afternoon, I gathered everyone from the studio together. I used my savings to pay everyone's severance. After everyone left, I sat alone in the empty office. The fabric was still stained red. My mother's stitching was barely visible now. I could barely see her stitching anymore. I placed it carefully on top of the breakup papers anyway. Rue was waiting downstairs when I finally walked out carrying one suitcase.
Damn, you're really leaving him.
Rue didn't try to stop me after that. She just walked with me toward the car together. On the way to the airport, Ethan was blowing up my phone. 12 missed calls. 3 years. I waited for that man to fight for me. At the boarding gate, I opened our message thread one last time. Then I typed, Ethan Walton, it's over. I pressed send without shaking, then went to the airport.